Hi, I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Mr. WTF. And you might know him from his own YouTube channel, which he wants everybody to know is kind of offline. He's in a little bit of a hiatus right now, but he will be returning, and he is okay and not dead. So he wanted everybody to know that as well. So here's his story. Hi, Ollie. My thought for today, I wanted to share it with you and the community. Something strange about recovery is waking up to how fucked up you are when you start to get better. For reasons that will become more clear when I ask you to make other videos for me, I'm finally getting some peace. But I notice how utterly perverse my attitude is to things like my phone beeping first thing when I'd forgotten to turn it off at night, or email notifications, or new text messages. It's like I live in fear, Ollie, because for such a long time I knew what to expect, to be prepared for trouble. I've talked about that myself, the phone ringing, loud noises, they're all reminders of past abuse. And technology with all the dings and bells and stuff that goes off on phones, it could be because it's unexpected noises. And when you've been abused the way we have, loud noises, sudden noises, phones, because those were always, like the starting gun for the chaos to start. I was always in defensive mode. I was always in a state of emergency. And even today, all this time down the line, I'm in a state of frightened anticipation. In fact, if I didn't know better, I would say I was addicted to being in that state because, like Pavlovian dog, trained to salivate at the sound of a feeding bell, it's all I know. And you know what? I'm relatively free right now. Things are better, much better, but I'm still caught in this post-narcissistic mindset. There's a new phrase emerging here in the UK called brown envelope anxiety, which is something that disabled and mentally unwell people develop because of awaiting decisions regarding the veracity of their social security claims based on how seriously the state takes their condition. Can you imagine that? That is assuming you've never experienced it yourself. It's awful. It's living under a tyranny when you are already dealing with the pressures and loss of freedom from disability already. I know in the West we should be grateful that there is something like social aid to help us when we are badly disadvantaged. But having to prove you're sick, I don't just mean being assessed or being referred on the recommendation of your doctor. I mean being forced to enter a long-winded and bureaucratic process so you can win the kindness of the state and be allowed not to work while you recover when you're seriously ill and not starve or be made homeless. It's a battle I was in for a long time, but more recently I've been free of it. But I've realized, Ollie, my whole life as a victim of narcissism has been something like this brown envelope anxiety. The narcissist sets themselves up to be you. That is what the state is set up to be, in a legion of unemployed, mentally and physically disadvantaged people, of which, of course, I am also one of due to the phenomenal traumas I have suffered from being the victim of a narcissistic family unit and the dysfunctionality that caused me in society, and more recently, caring full-time for my severely ill mother for 7 years with, of course, no meaningful emotional or practical support from the family. Forgive me, I'm straying from the point. What I mean to say is that this is handwriting to be ready, hardwiring to be ready to be fucked. A constant anticipation of emotional assault because of the narcissist's overweening need to extract supply from their victim. Maybe somehow, like how a child abuser or rapist has a need to feel whatever sick kick they get out of the subjugation and dehumanizing of their poor victims. And that need, even though it is more subtle, often, and less actionable legally, it is furtive, desperate, and it is insistent, and it is us utterly selfish and destructive. And when we get a new email notification or a text notification or a letter we weren't expecting, even years later when we might have cut off all ties and the war was over, we still feel it. That fear, that nagging, that gravitational pull to horror, panic, uncertainty. Always bracing ourselves for the smack in the face that is the narcissist calling card. I know it gets better because it's getting better for me. And Ali, I look at you and I see a strong, integrated person and a guy who got it together to escape the emasculating bullshit of the narcissistic family. So I know it will get better still for me, who's similar. And of course, I don't want people hearing this story thinking it's hopeless, because it's not. But I want to acknowledge the severity of this particular kink in our survivors' symptomology, because today my phone woke me up with a little beep. It turned out it was something harmless, but that beep was enough to make me revisit the nightmare, albeit fleetingly. I knew this was a complaint I wanted to share with you and the community. Thank you for taking the time, Mr. WTF. Well, part of the problem is, using the social welfare system as part of the societal narcissism plan, get as many people dependent on the government as possible. And all those hoop jumping, that is just to ensure you know how to follow direction. They are training you to get in line. That's why it's so triggering to you. This anxiety, am I good enough? Am I sick? So instead of am I good enough, it's am I sick enough? Still trying to prove yourself to this entity that acts as if they're God and then passes judgment through little brown envelopes. So again, the links to societal narcissism are there. Right there out in the open. And the triggers are going to be there. As you break away from your abusers through no contact, you see how fucked up you really are. And then when those noise reminders kick in, you have your flashbacks and you have your memories. But because you're no contact, you're able to work through them more quickly and more freely. So thank you for your contribution, and thank you for your statement or story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comments section below. And also, look for Mr. WTF's channel to come back online as well, because, I want to see everybody who does this succeed. Also, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, or you'd like to set up a Skype private video, have a private phone call, or Facebook chat, or you'd just like to sponsor a video for someone else or contribute to the channel, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And if you're still unsure, wait for the final video link to pop up on this video, which will take you to the instructional video that'll walk you through all of that. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance.